This week on the Caterpillar Cross Stitch YouTube channel, I'm going to be attempting to answer one simple, straightforward question posed by a viewer. What the heck is double needle stitching? And this question comes to us from viewer Ohmslass, who said that they had trouble finding information about this technique. And once I started looking into it, it quickly became apparent why that was, and that is the similarity of the name to other unrelated techniques from other disciplines, such as twin needle stitching from machine sewing, or double-handed stitching, also known as saddle stitching, from leatherwork. Plus we have double-ended or double-point needles in cross-stitch and embroidery, and so all of that kind of clogs up your search results and makes it difficult to find information about this, besides which I think this is not a particularly well-known technique. But what I eventually figured out is a technique for starting your cross-stitch that is even easier, faster, and neater than the loop start that we've all come to know and love, especially when you're working with 1 or 3 strands of floss. So get ready to have your mind blown. Now, part of the beauty of this technique is its simplicity, so let me show you how it's done. Now, just as with loop start, we're going to want to start with a piece of floss that is twice as long as the length we want to actually stitch with. But rather than taking one strand and folding it in half in order to get our 2 strands, we're actually going to use the 2 strands on this. But it's easiest to pull those strands out one at a time. So I just grab one strand, pull it all the way out, unbunch my floss, grab another strand, and pull it all the way out. Now, as I mentioned, you can do this actually just as easily and just as effectively with either 1 or 3 strands, which is part of what's great about it. Now, with a loop start, we stick 2 ends of our floss through 1 needle. But with a double needle start, we're going to stick 1 end of our floss each through 2 different needles. So then we wind up with something that looks like this. Well, let's get some fabric in here. Now, here's how it works. I usually stitch from left to right when I'm working a row of stitches. So I'm going to bring my first needle up in the bottom left corner of my first stitch, because the leg that I do usually is bottom left to top right, and then I work my way down with all of those. And the second leg that I normally do is the opposite one, so I'm going to bring my other needle up on the top left side of that first stitch that I'm going to do. And then I'm going to pull both needles through the fabric until they have the same amount of floss on each of them. And the needle that corresponds with the second leg of the stitch that I'm going to do, I'm just going to park over here on my needle minder. And I'm going to hold it there for a second while I do my first couple of stitches. Then when I'm ready to do the other half of all the stitches in that row, all I do is go over to my other needle and I cross them. With that first stitch, I probably want to give it a little bit more of a tug than I normally would, because I also want it to tighten up those first couple of stitches, because they probably didn't have very much tension on them. So this is a way to do Danish method of cross-stitching, but instead of working from left to right and then working back from right to left, I work left to right twice with 2 different needles. And it's a really great way to start, because if we look at the back, our first stitch looks exactly like every other stitch. We didn't have to do anything special. And because we're not relying on going through a loop and controlling the ends like we are with a loop start, it's just as easy to do with 1, 3, or 5 strands as it is to do with 2 strands. So it's what I would call strand agnostic. It doesn't matter how many strands I'm using for this technique, which is amazing. It also means if I'm doing a really long row that, for instance, runs off the end of my hoop, I don't have to move the hoop and then move it back, or park my thread and then come back, or whatever. I'm only ever working one direction, either left to right or right to left. Plus, it means you don't ever have to play floss chicken. Like if you're going down a row, you don't have to try to guess where to stop and turn back to be able to cross those stitches. You'll be able to just go all the way until you hit the end of the strand, and then when you grab the other needle, it'll end at pretty much the same spot. So you never have to try to guess what your point of no return on the row is, where you won't be able to get back to your starting point if you don't stop there. Now, there are a few drawbacks to it, like it is mostly only good for when you're doing long rows or large stitches of the same area, because it makes it harder to, like, I'll frequently go down a row and then I'll go up and do a little spur and come back, or I'll go down and do a little spur and come back. We're only going one direction, so there's none of that kind of down and back pathfinding stuff. So you have to kind of think about your process and your order a little bit differently, because otherwise it becomes really easy to paint yourself into a corner or to not have enough thread to cross those stitches, and then you can't start the next one the same way. You have to do it a little bit different. So it mostly works well for large blocks of the same color or long rows of the same color. And another minor drawback to it is that if you do it in the way I described, both of your strands are going to end in the same place. So you're going to wind up tucking or tying off or ending your strands in pretty much the same place, and that can lead to a little bit of messiness in the back. And if you don't have a second needle, it doesn't even matter. You can just park that extra thread around your needle minder or pin it into your extra fabric or something like that to keep it out of the way. You don't really need two needles. It just kind of makes it easier and faster to set up that first stitch if you do. Then make sure you don't miss out on any of the upcoming goings on, retreats, stitch along, socials, that kind of stuff from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Sign up for our newsletter. There's a link in the video description or in the first pinned comment. You can also find us on Facebook or on Instagram, where there are tens of thousands of other stitchers waiting for you to join our amazing supportive community. Like I said, if you have a question you'd like to see me answer or a topic you'd like to see me cover, leave it in the comments and I'll see if I can get around to it for you. But that is all I have for you this week. I do want to thank you so much for watching. For Caterpillar Cross Stitch, my name is Ford. I'm joined by my supervisor, Nugget, and we'll see you next week.